So, so my background, I have autism. I was diagnosed at 5 years of age. And so in elementary school, all the way through high school, I had what was called an IEP, which is an individualized education plan. That plan lets people know how I can learn to be more successful in school. And so in high school, I eventually got to lead my own IEP. So teachers actually get to hear my input on how I can be successful, because before it was like your parents met up, and eventually I had a case manager who was really good in high school. She was like my resource room teacher as well. She taught us and mentored us to have us in more generalized classroom settings, because people before that case manager came, people like myself who can learn in generalized education settings did not have that opportunity. So we were put in like different classrooms. And so she really made it clear to the school that we can learn in generalized education setting just as good as anybody, but we have challenges like everybody else. And she made sure we had accommodations so we can learn best in that setting. And so for us, that was huge, because now we can actually, and then more and more teachers actually started to create their own classes for us to learn in. And so they really enjoyed us in their classrooms, because they felt like we had a lot of input in their classrooms versus before. And so in that case, manager ended up winning Teacher of the Year. And so that was big for us. Good, because I felt like now I can actually lead my own IEPs and address how I feel, how I want to be better supported, and how I want to learn best. Speak up. And she always met with us before our IEP meetings, and we used to have accommodations, and sometimes we wouldn't need these accommodations anymore. So she helped us write our own IEPs, and she would go over it. The accommodation we didn't need anymore, she'd go over it and take it out, because we eventually didn't need some anymore, and she would replace it with new ones. And she would always help us with our goals, to write our goals and stuff, what we want to accomplish. They were different because teachers weren't writing them for me. So I felt like, because I was the student, so I could actually oversee how I wanted to learn best. So I had input in writing my goals. Some stuff, yeah. Like sometimes like generalized settings, testing, because I used to just stay in the room. So one of my accommodations was to, out of class, to have my own room, to have a separate room to take my test, because as a person with autism, I used to get distracted really easily. So during test taking, I get distracted. And so I felt like it was very important for me to have a separate place to take my test, a more quiet area, so I could do it best. My test scores were a lot better. And also I had somebody who would be a scribe, like a teacher assistant. And so that helped too, because my handwriting's not that good. And so one of my accommodations was like typing it, and also somebody scribed me for me. So I'd speak to them, they would write it down for me. Yeah, higher grades.
How did all that make you feel?
Good.
And knowing that who did that? Who made that happen?
The case manager. She's and myself.
That was your goal, right?
Yeah, that was one of my goals. Yeah. Yeah, Teacher of the Year, yeah. We were all happy for her, because she really was the reason why all this happened. She really empowered us, the students, to do this. And so she was really the big reason. She was kind of the nucleus of why everything went as well as it did. Because before, like I said, people who could learn generalized settings like myself were secluded to the separate classrooms, and now we were being included in generalized education settings. That means that we actually get an opportunity to learn just like everybody else. Because at the end of the day, we're human beings as well. And so we have challenges just like everybody else. But with the right supports and the right accommodations, we can overcome these barriers to be more successful in life in general. Separate classes at first, it felt different because you didn't get to meet as many people. So like the only time I ever get to meet people is like during like recess or lunch, or just physical education class. That was the only class that was really generalized at that point. And so It was a huge difference. More friends. I eventually met up with a friend. He made me the hockey team manager in high school. Yeah. That gave me more opportunities to meet more people, meet more friends, expand my social life a little bit. Really good when I was a manager. Just knowing I have an impact on them, that I used to give them like locker room speeches and stuff that I can motivate them.